and welcome back to Farming Simulator 22 and the Survival Series. So I'm just having a quick look at the soybeans, and they are pretty much in growth stage 4 and fully fertilised as well. So we did get a chance to put all the fertiliser on that. I've also re-fertilised the grass field as well. So after we mowed it in the last episode and did the silage, so that's all fertilised and pretty much ready for the next mow, which we're going to be doing hay on. So let's just have a quick look at the bunker. You can tell that I have flattened it out. I've pretty much tidied it up at the edges as well, so I've got quite a bit in here, but I haven't actually compacted it. So it's at 57%. I have gone over it a little bit, but I didn't know whether to put some more on, so I thought it might be a waste of time to fully compact it because we can fit some more in. So I'm thinking it maybe to do half and half, or even a quarter of the next mow and put it into here, and then obviously do some hay bales, because it just makes sense to maximise this out and sell it all. It's just going to be a big job when we do sell all that silage, but at least it looks a lot better, and it's yeah, you can tell that it's pretty much getting there. We can probably fit another, I'd say we could probably get another 4 loads, so maybe 80,000. We'd be lucky to get another 100,000 in there, because we are at 195,000 litres in here. So the money has gone up. It's shot up to £28,600, and I have been really busy, properly busy in between this episode and the last one. What I've decided to do is try and maximise and get as much money as possible from what we've already got. So I have put water back in here, and I've told it to do some strawberries, and we're just selling it straight away. So as soon as they're ready, they're selling. There's not going to be any pellets. It's just going to sell straight to the shop. I also have been doing quite a lot of logging. So if we just jump over to this part of the farm, that should be fine, I think. Let me just see. In fact, we'll jump to this. So let's get rid of the F1 menu. You can see that this has had a battering. I've been using it. We've only used it the once, but I don't like how it does that. Some mods do this. The wear really quick and go a bit shiny. So it seems like when I jet washed it, all the paint came off basically. But it is what it is. I mean, it's only got 4% damage, and that's what it's done. So God knows. Don't ask me. I haven't got a clue why that happens, but it does. So I did do the fertilising, like I said. I used the Hurleyman, still got the narrow tyres on, kind of nearly used up all the fertiliser. I had to buy another big bag of fertiliser, which is pretty much empty close to anyway. But this is mainly what I've been doing. This is taking me some serious time, it really has. But as you can tell, the clearing is now a lot more. There's a lot more to it, and I've been coming up with a bit of a plan. So if we just go in flight mode, I'll show you exactly what I'm looking at. So you can probably just make out the fences. So you can see the track there coming down the middle, the new track. This is obviously the farm over here, and then this was like the original clearing we made probably to about here, maybe to about that point there. And I've literally gone all the way up here, put a fence to try and give me an idea of where I want to go to. So you can just make out that the fence is probably going to go to about here. And then we'll probably work our way into this bit. Now, you've got to remember that my borderline is probably about, if you could just imagine a line going across there and straight across here. So we don't own all that woodlands area, even though it's something that we could eventually purchase the rest of it. But we have got a good chunk still left to go at. But as you can see, I have chopped a hell of a lot, and I've still got a lot to pick up. So even though we've made £28,000, probably a little bit more because I've spent a tiny bit on things like fertiliser and so on, but I've still got a lot of trees there, a lot of logs to go at, and I've still got to chop all these down to make this clearing where the fence is I've put up to. So probably the fence goes to about there, but I will expand it out to probably about here and just carry on. We do want to keep some kind of buffer in between that field and this area here. So I have, like this for example, I've kept some trees. I do want to try and keep that going, so it does look enclosed within a woodland area. But yeah, you can just about make out what I'm doing. If I kind of zoom up, you can see the fence a little bit more clear. Now, like I said, we'll go to about here. We'll work out what we're going to do. But my idea is, if you can imagine again a line going from about maybe here across there to about there. Imagine like a chunk there. That's going to be a new field. So I have actually done a little plan for this. So I'll just show you now what I'm talking about. You can probably just make it out. So as you can see, I'm just going to like put a field here, at the top where it says like new field, and then at the bottom I'll make a new clearing going out, and obviously we'll make a hell of a lot of money by doing that from the logging side of things, but then we can put some sheds in, maybe something for animals. I have had a lot of ideas of where to take this farm, and what kind of farming I want to do. I obviously want to do quite a lot of arable, but I would like to have that option for a second field and maybe put it about here. I think that'd be perfect. So I am making the clearing for that. We've got a hell of a lot of logs to go out, so we'll definitely have enough money for the harvester, which is going to be good. And anything we need going forward, we definitely need a bit, a few sheds and some machinery maybe. Now another thing I'd like to do, but this is long term, is I'd like to do some kind of cow breeding. Now I do want a small patch for dairy. Now don't get me wrong, we've got the small sheep. If I had like an area with 30 cows for milkers, that'd be fine. But I want a really big open pasture to do some breeding, and we're gonna maybe put a few production side of things in for that. Maybe do some steaks and sell like beef cattle for steaks, and we can even sell beef cattle. But I'd like a really open area to do some breeding for cattle. I think that'd be a really good source of income, and we can try and make that again like a main focus as well after we start clearing out a lot of these logs. But this again is long-term thinking. This is something that's going to take some time to get to, but I think at the end of it should look really good. Our own farm, and if we can do some different kind of stuff like productions, maybe beef cattle, like I said, pallets of steak. I know there's a mod out there that allows you to have steak pallets, so you obviously put your cattle in, you get a steak, you can go take that and sell it, and so on. But yeah, there is a lot of things to do beforehand. So let's just quickly get rid of flight mode, and then we'll carry on what I wanted to do, which is just take another load to the logs to sell. Right, so obviously I was using this tractor to do the fertilising. We've still got narrow tyres on this, so I'm going to go and just quickly swap these over. I also actually might just quickly give this a bit of a jet wash. There we go. Now, I do prefer to use the John Deere when climbing up the hill, but the problem is that it just means I have to keep swapping everything over, and it becomes a bit of a pain. So I'm going to try and do this with the Hurleyman, and this time just not put as much on. I think that should do. Give the weight a bit of a blast. There we go, that's perfectly fine. And then let's go swap these tyres over. Very narrow tyres. There we go. So let's just quickly customize this, go to standard, job done, and then reattach the weight. There we go. So the aim for this episode, we're going to just do one more load of these logs, go sell them, and then we're going to try and do either some of the hay. Well, we're definitely going to progress time, but I don't know if we're going to do some hay if it's ready, or if we're just going to try and see if the soybeans come first and we try and get the harvester. And if we do that, we're going to have to obviously sell a few more logs. Now, I have got some logs sitting in the sawmill to do some productions, so the pallets of planks, basically. And the reason I did that is because I'm trying to just make the most money as possible. So we've obviously got all these logs that I've sold. I've taken a couple of loads now, probably about 4. Maybe this is I think this might be the 4th. But I've also taken 2 in to the actual sawmill to process as wood planks, basically. Now that could actually be a bit of time before it gives me the money, but I am storing them, so I'm trying to make like get a build up of them before we sell them, and then I won't do the actual pallets. I'll just sell them straight from the sawmill. I'll probably take a bit of a hit on that, but I think it just makes sense to do it that way, with us having issues with the wheel loader when it comes to picking up pallets. Now I do think that if we got ourselves a forklift, for example, that we might not have that issue. So it could be the fact that the wheel loader fork, for example, is just a bit pants, basically. But we'll find that out. So let's think what else to do here now. Now I can pick that one up, so there's no point. I think that is light enough for me to pick up. There we go. So just plonk that there. But yeah, I'll probably speed up time after this load now, and then we'll have a look what is ready. I'm just trying to think which one to do next. I mean, we can always nudge that out of the way, so we'll do that one there. Makes sense. Now, the way I've been doing this is if I just bring up the F1 menu, I've got the mod called Measure, which is basically tells you a point where you can start measuring, and I've been trying to aim for about 5 meters, so they're all about the same. So I kind of stand here, for example, I hold Alt and right click. Ooh, that's because I've got the lumberjack mod on, so if I do it away from the log, it shouldn't do that. There we go. So now hold Alt and right click. There you go. There you go. Now it's worked. So at this point here, you can see there's a point. I don't know if you can just make it out. It's quite a faint black line with a red X. Now, it basically is in line with that. So if I move away from it, you can see that it's just in the F1 menu. It's giving me a distance. So it says there about 5 meters. So I'm 4.95. So if I take out the chainsaw, and that's how I've been doing it. Now, for this one, I'll obviously head for 10. I just think it's better because you get similar length logs then. I mean, I'm not really precise with it, just a little bit, try and just make it somewhat accurate. And I think that last one is probably about over 20, isn't it? Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll just cut that last little bit off, and yeah, we'll throw that on top actually. More the merrier when it comes to selling. So then what I usually do after that is just obviously press Alt and right click, and it's gone, and that seems to do the job for me. So let's just quickly nudge this out of the way, so this is going to be a bit of a pain. Ooh, completely missed that. Try that again. There we go. Oh my god, third time's a charm. Third time is a charm. There we go. Job done. So I might try and pick 2 up here. So if we just, the way I've been doing it is I saw a comment from someone. The first time I did this, I was thinking, oh, I've got to push him up against something. Then I actually saw a comment from someone saying, why don't you try and grab him from the top? And he was absolutely spot on. Since that point, I've been doing it like this, and it's just, yeah, been a lot easier. And it just does make me think why I was doing it like that in the first place, because it's quite obvious, really. But maybe I was just having one of the moments when my brain wasn't working very well. There we go. No, I don't know if I can. These are quite hefty logs. Maybe I can just about get this. Just about, it seems. There we go. 2 in 1 go. Makes our life a little bit easier. And it does actually work really well. This grab, it's not too much hard work. It's not problematic at all. It just, you know, it does the job like you've just seen. We'll definitely get the rest of them on there. I'll probably just, because I don't want to take too much with it being the hurling, I will just finish off with these last few. Now, I don't know if I can pick that one up. I'm just going to check quickly. Yes, I can. So that's not too much of a problem. So we'll just put this over here a second. And then we'll just take this last one. I mean, we could definitely take more than this, but I'll just try and play it safe. We're probably not going to get what we usually get, in all fairness. This might give us a little bit less. There we go, that just fit just nice. Now, hopefully I haven't gone too far back. I have, haven't I? Yeah. So I'm going to have to use super strength for this, unfortunately, just because if I don't, it will cause me a few issues. I mean, I try and avoid super strength as much as possible, but it's also a really useful mod when you make a mess up, like I've done there. There we go. That should be fine. So, get rid of that. And we'll plonk this one on, and that last little bit. And at some point soon as well, when I've made this clearing, obviously I'll do the majority of this off camera because it is quite a long-winded task. Oh, the element is starting to tip. I think there's only one way to do this. It's just to drive and hope for the best. Yeah, it's a no-go. It is a no-go. It's weird how the Hurleyman does this, even with the... even if I put a bit of weight on the front, I don't know if it will work. Let's see if we can put the John Deere weight on this. See if that'll help it. So if this doesn't work, we'll have to use the John Deere. It just seems like it's got a lot more front weight to it than what this has. Now, this is a hefty weight, so let's see what happens. I just don't think the Hurleyman's going to pull this up with this weight on. Try that again. There we go. Right. Moment of truth. Nope, still doesn't do it. So, I don't know, it must be something to do with the way the tractor is. So we're going to have to swap over here, unfortunately. Which isn't too much of a problem, in all fairness. Just being a bit lazy. There we go. Now, even without a weight on, because this front, the front doesn't have an attachment to have a weight. Now, I could modify it and put a weight on. But, yeah, it doesn't really need it. It just sits perfectly with the John Deere. There we go. So it seems like as soon as I push them back a little bit on the Hurleymans, because it obviously touches the rear of the Hurleyman easier than it does the John Deere. So as soon as I move them backwards to obviously counteract that, it then makes that trailer more heavy on the rear of it. So it ends up tipping or lifting the Hurleyman up at the back. So it really is something I have to only do with the John Deere until we get our third tractor, which is going to be something we aim to do at some point. And we're going to try and aim for around the 200 horsepower mark, because I think it will make our life a lot easier. But again, this is long-term plans. I mean, we have got some good source of income. We've got the planks that are going to be coming through, we've got the wood, we're going to have some soybeans, we've got some more hay, and then obviously got the silage that we are in the process of making. So that actually got up the hill a lot quicker than what I'm used to. With me having less on, I probably could have put more on, knowing that I was going to use the John Deere in the end, but it doesn't matter now. We're here, so this is a little bit of extra cash. It'll bring us over the 30,000 mark anyway. There we go. 4,753 is pretty good going for the amount we had there. So let's just have a quick look at the production side of things, and I can show you exactly what's going on. So, yeah, as you can see, we've got 17,791 litres of wood, which is a hell of a lot. That's right, 20 grand for us if we sold it straight. And we're storing the planks. We've already got nearly 1,000 litres, which is one pallet worth. In fact, is it a pallet worth 500? I don't know. I can't remember. I know some are, but maybe this one is 1,000. And to give you an idea of the money we get from wood, for example, in comparison to the planks, I'm getting around £1,000 on average. Now, this is where I'm usually selling it to. As you can see, it's at the lowest, but it's still close to £1,000. But then, if you turn that into planks, and you've got to remember, you do get more planks for your wood, so you actually get a lot more. But obviously, the time it takes to process is the downfall of it. But if you have a look, it's 1,390. Now, I think that can go up to 1,450, as you see there. So you are pretty much making a good increase on the wood. And like I did say, if we check the production side, you take 60 litres of wood, you need to get 80 litres of planks, so you actually get more. And you also get the byproduct of wood chips, which eventually you can sell. I probably wouldn't let them get to a point where I'm going to turn them into something that I need to pick up and sell. I would just let them sell straight. But the only issue is, it only does 120 cycles a month of that, which isn't much at all. It's going to take us about if I'm thinking now top of my head, 2 to 3 months to maybe process this wood into the planks that we want to sell. So it is a long-term thing that you could do over time and just get a gradual source of income. It does benefit to sell the wood straight. It really does. A bit like silage when it comes to bale format, unless you find a biogas plant that can have a lot more production cycles. Now, I know I've seen a few mods flying about where production's been sped up a bit, but for the survival series I'm not going to be using them. I'm just going to try and stick to the standard production features. I mean, don't get me wrong, even though it is a survival series, I have modified some things like the working speed on the pickup that I bought in the last episode. just because it was too small and I wanted it to succeed and work really well, even though there is a few negatives with that now. I think the fact that it looks like it's been ran over with a sander makes it even worse, because the paint's gone. And even though I like it a lot, I think at some point we are just going to buy ourselves a nice pickle wagon when we get a beefier tractor and stuff. So what I'll do now is I'll go back. I'll probably speed up time now. I don't think I'll do any more logs. We're sitting comfortable at 33,000. We haven't got to wait till around October before we do the harvest anyway, the soybeans, and there is nothing to do now with that field. It is all ready. Just needs to get to the point where we can start harvesting it. But yeah, I think I'll just speed up time, see if the grass grows, and see what comes first, basically. Right, so welcome back. It's now September, right at the start of September, so a few months have gone by, and you can see that the soybeans are pretty much right on the brink. I expect the start of October this will be ready to harvest, so we do need to start looking at getting the harvester. Now, my money did not go down at all, but it also didn't go up much, and that's because the strawberries were kind of balancing out obviously the cost it has when you've obviously got your farm, and also the vehicle cost. I mean, there's a generic cost that goes out every time, so the strawberries are doing a good job of balancing that out. If we just have a quick look as well at the grass fields, you can see that is now ready to mow. This is where we want it, so we're going to do that very shortly. I'm going to crack on with that. I haven't really done anything when it comes to logging. I've just processed time, and the sheep as well, they are making a moderate amount of wool. Nothing too crazy, but a moderate amount. So let's just jump over to here and we can have a look at this, because this is maxed out. So we've got 2 pallets here. The only issue with this is I should have put this to distribute, not sell. The only reason I would have put it to distribute is because it's got nowhere to go anyway, so it would actually store up. But as you can see, it's out of space, so it's actually produced 15,000 litres of planks, and we still got 5,600 litres of wood left, and we still got 2 pallets, so it's actually 16,000, or just, in fact it's 17,000 litres basically, bang on, of planks, which is going to be a hell of a lot of money, and that's going to give us what we need to get the harvester. So let's just let that sell. That'll happen over time. We'll see an influx in cash, and that'll be from hopefully all the planks selling, and then we'll have to sort out these 2 at another time. But that's good news. It means that obviously the logs that we've taken have paid off eventually. It's taken 2 months and it's processed pretty much the majority of it. It's filled up, but it's not processed everything. There's still, like I said, 5,600 litres. Again, let's just have a quick look at the sheep. We are growing now in numbers. We've got Sean. This is Sean here on his own. He's had a baby lamb, and this was Sean's lamb. And then these 2 have had a lamb. Let's call these Sharon and Steve. Sharon and Steve have had 2 baby lambs as well. So we're now sitting at 6 sheep, and like I said, 352 litres of wool. Not much, but then again, we've only got 6 sheep, so we can't really expect much else. In fact, let's go visit Sean, Steve, Sharon, and their babies. Living the dream. All of them living the dream. So we're going to do some mowing. We're going to crack on with this. We're going to need the John Deere for this. So where are you? There we go. I've actually left the engine running for probably 2 months. But the fuel hasn't run out, so that's good news. Let's go and get hooked up to the mower, and we'll set course play going on this. Now we're going to mow the whole field. We're going to also windrow the whole field. But what we are going to do is, at the end, we're going to bale up a section, and then we're also going to bale up going to pick up a section of it, so we can also pack the clamp up, because I want to get that done in September, so it just ferments in time for around January when the price is at its best. And then we're going to have to find a way to sell it without doing 500 trips, because it's going to be a lot. It is going to be a lot of trips. There we go, that's that done. And let's go take this route. It seems to be the quickest route now. I'm actually hoping that I can get this through there. I never thought about this. This might actually be a bit tricky. It might just be a better idea to remove the gate itself and just have an opening. But no, it's got through there pretty easy, in fact. It just looks bigger than what it is, the mower. So let's set up a courseplay here for this. and we'll get this cracking. We are doing really well at the moment on this series. We are making good headway. Set it there. That'll do. Number of headlands 2. That'll be fine. Just up that to around that. And we'll start on the headland. I think that's fine. -4 is not too much of an issue. Generate field, and there we go. Job done. Now I've probably should save that, to be honest, because I haven't saved the new mower setup, in all fairness, but I think we'll do that at a later date. Let's get this. Let's get it started at least. I do like now as well, within this menu you can actually see the start and finish, or you can change it to. They have pretty much gone back to the FS19 version here. This is definitely looking like that's the way they want to go, which is it's good because it worked really well to have that kind of in-game interface as well as the menu one. I like having the option of both. So let's let that start. It's going to take him some time probably to get round, or her. I think it is a lady, but we'll get it done by the end of this episode, and we'll also get some bales done. We need to TED as well, so that's going to be interesting. But we don't want to TED the whole field. I want to be able to TED just a section. So I might just do the windrowing myself on a small patch, maybe a couple of rows on this side, for example, when he's done the mowing, and then I'll get it to TED the field after, because like I said, I want to put some of it in the bunker. So I'll let him crack on with that, and I'll cut back in when he's probably done the mowing, and then we'll start looking after the rest of it. Right, so welcome back. What I decided to do was I windrowed the first headland. So after he mowed the first headland, I've windrowed just that up. Now I'm going to collect 2 loads in this bad boy. We're going to drop it off in the pit, and then I think the rest of it is going to be tedded for hay. I think it just makes sense to just set ourselves a target of 2 loads, which is around 44, maybe 42, 43,000 litres, something like that. And I think that'll be perfectly fine then. And we don't want to overload it, and it becomes a bit of an issue to pack it all in like last time. We had it just flowing out at the end, and then we had a load that we had to just pile up and put into the next bunker that we were doing. So we'll try and avoid that this time. So let's just go round. You can see the headland that I've done, and you can see how far he's got with mowing. He hasn't done too much. So let's try and pick ourselves up here. 20,000. So we're definitely not going to have enough for 2, but we'll just pick up the remaining part of this row, and that'll be enough, because it's 21,200 litres, so it's not too bad anyway. There we go, job done. Another load in to add to the 190,000 litres that we're going to sell in silage. Right, so let's hope that this will climb up this. I'm hoping it will. It will make a mess. I'm going to have to tidy it up again. There we go. So if we just try... Whoa. I don't want to go too far. I'd rather it just stick in the middle like that, so we can flatten it out at a later date. There we go. That's fine. It looks a bit crazy, but I'll sort that out. I am going to pretty much just do this after this episode. I'm just going to drop these 2 loads in, and then I'll make sure I compact it. So by the time the next episode starts, it will all be sheeted up, fermenting nicely. So I'll go collect the remaining amount, and we'll drop that in the pit also. Right, so there we go. I've just dropped off the remaining amount, and I think we've definitely got plenty in that pit now. So let's just have a quick look. It does need tidying up. There's a big pile in the middle, and it should fill the pit up. Definitely a little bit more. I don't know if it'll be maxed out. It looks like I can actually go up to this level if I wanted to, which is pretty crazy. But you know what? It doesn't matter as long as we've got enough in to make a bit of cash. That's the main aim. So if I just quickly jump over here, you can see that I've set the tedder going. Started him on the inside. Mower's still going. As soon as he's done, I'll go and jump in the John Deere with the baler, and we'll swap over. I mean, he is pretty much right by the end of this field now, and then all we need to do is do some windrowing and finally some hay bales. So I am going to do a bit of a montage now. I'll probably do a bit of the baling myself, Try and do a bit of courseplay as well at the same time, just because it helps out with the montage. But hopefully by the end, well, this field will be done. We'll have some hay bales sitting in the field, and then eventually when we get some time in future episodes, we'll store them away. We'll store some away anyway, and then we'll go and sell the rest. So enjoy the montage, and I'll cut back in when it's all done. Right, so there we go. That is the whole field done, and we made 33 hay bales, and I think the 4,500 litres. Let's just confirm that. Yeah, 4,500 litres. So we'll probably keep about, I'd say I'm going to try and keep about no more than 10. I don't think we're going to ever need more than that. In fact, we could keep 5, because at the end of the day, we're only going to have sheep probably until the next time round anyway, because we haven't got any more animals, and I do want to get cows and start making some form of feed for them eventually, but depends when we get them. So yeah, we'll keep 5. I think that's a good number, and then we'll sell the rest. So we should get a good source of income with that. I don't think it'll be massive, but it's definitely going to help out, and with the silage that we've got, which I will sort out before the next episode, I'll make sure that I've compacted that fully, tied it up a bit, and then obviously got the sheet over it so it's fermented nicely. But also, just before I end the video, I just want to point out that the money has jumped up to 50,000, so we are now at the point where we can buy the harvester. So if I just quickly jump into the production menu, you can see that all the planks sold, and it's now going to start processing through that remaining 5,600, and I've changed it back to distributing. So not too bad at all. We can definitely buy that harvester. In fact, just before I do end the episode, let's have a quick look to see what's on offer. Oh my god, it's finally on offer. So we've now got a wrapper. Now, I've got to do it. I've got to. I know this money is for the harvester, but I've been waiting for a wrapper to come on sale. And this one here is 14,000, which is a pretty good deal, definitely. I'm just having a look now to see if there's anything else that's standing out. And that's not bad, but it's a bit low on horsepower. We've got another wrapper here. 31,000 for that. But I think 15,000 wins it, definitely. So it seems like all the wrappers came at the same time, which is good news. But yeah, we're going to have to buy that. So I'm going to just quickly do that. So here we go. Standard Bale turner, I'm not too fussed about that. Vicon or Cleveland, I mean, really doesn't matter. We'll just keep it to that. And random foil colour, no, we don't want that. But we can change the foil colour. I mean, what kind of style bales do we want? Shall we go for an orange just because of the logo? Why not? We'll go orange silage bales from now on. But yeah, 14,000. It had to be done. License plate. Oh, that's because I have actually got a mod that says to me all my equipment have got different license plates, so these need changing. So what this mod actually does is pretty unique. Is it means that every vehicle has to have its own license plate. You can't have the same one, which I do like. So it just means that I now need to change the license plate. So car trailer and that have the same. So it's telling me I need to change that at some point as well. But it won't allow you to obviously get this. So what we're going to just quickly do is just change that to a 5. Why not? That should work. And now we can buy that. So 14,395 or 394 has left us with 35,000, but that money will go up before the next episode. We'll definitely get that harvester. Another thing I did want to point out as well, but getting distracted, is I did find another harvester, and it was really nice. It was the Dominator, but it was an aged version, which I thought would go down really well on this series, but we're not going to get it. I just thought I'd point it out that there is a nice aged class out there. If you're trying to play the vintage style, and I do like it. It's got some nice textures. But yeah, we'll try and get the Bison like my original plan was. I think that's definitely a good harvester. So on that note, I'm going to leave the video there. So thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a thumbs up because that helps my channel out. And if you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this one on Farming Simulator.